Is the male slave dungeon. There are two dungeons here, the male slave dungeon and the female slave dungeon. The male slave dungeon was established to hold as many as 1,000 African men. The female slave dungeon was built in order to hold as many as 500 African women.
Like, look at the gorgeousness of that. I feel like my iPhone may not even be doing it that much justice, but looks so beautiful. Top of the morning to you all. This is my outfit for today. I'm wearing a yellow dress, which y'all have seen me wear already, not on this trip, on another trip, and some Adidas trainers. I'm also looking extra glowy because I obviously have my SPF on. I also have insect repellent on, just in case, because animals do tend to want to eat me up. I'm sweet, so you know, they want to eat me. But yo, on a side note, the way that I am sweating, yeah, it's probably about 6:30 or a little after 6:30. And it's 27 degrees already. It's gonna be as high as 33 or 34 degrees today. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that I'm really gonna miss this heat when I go back to the UK, I cannot lie. So guys, we finally got to Kakum. I'm with these lovely ladies. Introduce yourselves.
Lacey here.
Where's
Bennie.
and obviously Cece, who you've already met. And what are we going to do first?
We're going to the Kakum National Park. Then after we go to Cape Coast Castle.
Yeah.
And then we'll have lunch at a beach in Elmina.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah.
But she's making us walk on the canopy. You lot know I'm a very scaredy pants, so pray for me. I'm praying for myself internally.
Pray for all of us, wait.
Yeah? Wow, pray for all of us then.
I got my vibes. I have to film with my phone's camera. It's like I have to do like this with my phone's camera.
Film and not break my head at the same time. Guys, look at how we're both struggling. This is hard, but yeah, I'm finding it easy. These two find it easy. The boss lady is giving us tips, so boss lady talk.
If you want to do the three on the first canopy, you decide to go on the left.
Yeah.
Don't go right, because if you go right, you are going 7.
Yeah.
But if you want to do the three, the shortest.
But where does the canopy lead us to? Is it just to the top of somewhere?
Yeah, to the top, and then you come back. Like
Oh, okay. I understand. Okay. Guys, so we're about to do the canopy now, hopefully.
But it shakes a bit, so. But don't be scared.
This video is definitely going to be a hard one to film. But finally started walking. Are we even on it?
No, you're not.
Oh, not yet. Shame. Oh god.
Yay.
Guys, it is basically impossible for me to film me walking on a canopy because I'm not good with things like this. Yeah, a head camera would have been good. Probably not though, because like if I drop, then it drops with me. If we did the 7-1, by the time we get to the top, I would have lost weight. My mom would be like, hey, yeah, that's good. Just taking a chilled fan break because it is hot. Like, I'm sweating like I've stolen stuff like a criminal. Look at my dress, guys. You can see the sweat. It's a gym workout right here. On an empty belly. I haven't ate all day, by the way. Guys, we survived. How is everyone feeling? She's a pro. She's fine. She didn't feel anything. How are you feeling, girls?
I didn't feel anything.
Nah, you're fine.
I'm good. I'm
I'm
good.
good.
It was
a good experience.
Yeah.
Can't lie, I was a little bit scared. I was a little bit nervous. But she was fine. She didn't feel anything. She said it was easy, so that's fine. It was a good experience. How do you feel?
Dead.
So we are about to enter the castle. I've wanted to come here for so many years, so I'm really, I don't want to say pleased, but I'm gonna be very interested to find out like how it makes me feel, what I learn, what I see, and I'm gonna do my best to film as much as I possibly can to show y'all.
Because of your friend that you are waiting for, just enjoy the views. Just the male slave dungeon. There are two dungeons here, the male slave dungeon and the female slave dungeon. Now, the male slave dungeon was established to hold as many as 1,000 African men. The female slave dungeon was built in order to hold as many as 500 African women. Now, I'm going to take you to the male slave dungeon, but the floor that leads to the male dungeon is very slippery. You take your time, you walk slowly. The floor is very slippery. Please, your first step matters a lot. You take your time. There were 200 men here. There was a big door right here. 200 where we are right now. 200, 200, and 200 in the last cell, or the last chamber. So that means there were 1,000 men in a male slave dungeon. Now the only source of ventilation and light for 200 men where we are right now was that hole there. The conditions here were very bad. Elmina slave castle was established by the Portuguese in 1482. It is the oldest and the largest castle. Also, slave castle is located in Accra. The British built that one in 1661, and this is Cape Coast Slave Castle. Cape Coast Slave Castle was established by the British in 1665. Elmina Castle is the biggest and the oldest castle. It is 540 years old. Cape Coast Castle, however, is the youngest slave castle, date-wise. But Cape Coast Slave Castle. Now the only source of light is the earth for 200 men here with these 3 windows. Now there's a trench in the middle of the middle dungeon. Anytime it rains, the water will just go through this trench and evade this ocean. And when the African men pass water, it will just go through this. All of them were left to die in that cell. And after they died, the British slaves would take their bodies and put them in the ocean. This was not here. This is part of what we call the African. It is appalled. It was in here when the African men were here. It was established in a male slave dungeon after the ocean by the locals. But there was a big town here, very huge town. The town is the Africans walked through the door for return. There was no place of return. They never, ever came back to Africa. I'm going to take you to the door. But this town got sealed off. It got sealed off in 1830. Mark the abolishment. There has never been an abolishment. It was a transformation. Graves are 1, 2, 3, 4. But before the grave that we are standing lies the grave of a black man. The other 3 graves there are for British officials or slaves. Now the name of this black man is Philip Kwaku. Philip Kwaku was not an enslaved African man in a male slave dungeon. His father used to work here for the slaves. Because of that, when his son Philip Kwaku, who was buried here, was 11 years old, The church on top of the male slave dungeon took him to London to study theology at the University of Oxford. Philip Kwaku was the first African to be ordained as an Anglican priest in London. He later became the priest in the church on top of the male slave dungeon. A small cell. We call this cell the male punishment cell. You know, back in the male dungeon, I made mention of 1,000 men. There were many African men in the male slave dungeon who tried to rebel or fight back. Such African men were brought in the cell. There are no windows in the cell, and this cell had 3 doors. The first door, there was a second door, and a third door. Let's come this one, please. Let's come this one. You know why I asked you to get time, please. Okay, so base is a very small cell, and where we are right now again is called a male punishment cell. Okay, back in the male dungeon, I made mention of 1,000 men, and I also made mention of a tunnel, a very big tunnel. Now this is the tunnel. The tunnel continues to the exit or to the door of no return. Now, one of the reasons why the British slavers or the English soldiers didn't allow the African men in the middle dungeon walk through this courtyard to the door of no return was because they were afraid of them. Now, imagine 1,000 men on this courtyard and about 5 of them got unshackled. They could easily fight back and take over the castle. Okay, from where we are standing right now, this is the exit of the tunnel. The exit of the tunnel. It is also the end of the tunnel system. We are in the tunnel system. And in the female dungeons, these are the female slave dungeons, and that is the door of no return. Now, all the women in the female dungeons were raped by the British slaves. But some women in the female dungeon rebelled and fought back. All the resisted. All the African women in the female slave dungeon who resisted were brought in this cell to be punished. There was a door here, a very big door, the London. This is where the women would menstruate, they have rashes on the doors, the conditions are very bad. Now, the only difference between the male punishment cell and the female punishment cell is this woman. Back in the male punishment cell, we didn't see any place because that place was a death sentence.
It smells bad in here because there's no ventilation.
Alright, so this is the female dungeon. There are 2 female slave dungeons. The other female dungeon is opposite this one. In each one of them was 250 women. That's the maximum number. Minimum number was 150 women. Now, the only source of light and air for the African woman in the female slave dungeons were these 3 windows. You know, those are wide spread of diseases such as malaria, cholera, diarrhea, cancer. Many African women became pregnant because they got raped. All the African women who got pregnant in the female slave dungeons were taken outside castle to an English British community in order to give birth. We call this door the door of no return because this was the final exit of the millions of our ancestors in the dungeons. However, the original door of no return was a very tiny door right here. The location of the door of no return was right here, very tiny. And the moment the Africans walked through this door, there was no place of return. They were all aired onto small boats, okay? Very small boat, right? But the big ships that transported all of them to the Americas were about 100 meters away from here. The castle during the slavery. After the abolishment, it became the court of justice. And this is the first court of justice, British court of justice, first British court of justice in Cape Coast. When Ghana was the Gold Coast of West Africa, Cape Coast was the capital city. And Cape Coast State Castle was the headquarters of the British in the whole of West Africa. Now this floor is not original. The windows and doors are not original. They are not. But the walls are original. These walls are original. But the floor is not. Living room of the British Governor. And the living room of the British Governor has 9 windows. And that's the bedroom of the British Governor. The bedroom of the British Governor has 5 windows. In totality, there are 14 windows for just one person.
So firstly, I just want to say you might hear a bit of noise because there's works going on where I'm at, and you also might hear the AC as well because I'm really hot. However, Elmina Castle, what an experience. It's somewhere that I've wanted to go to for such a long time, and so to be able to go meant a lot to me. However, I can't lie, for me, I feel like it's probably been the most something that I've done that's had the most impact on me in a long time. I've seen people go there, I've watched various vlogs, and I've seen people's experiences. However, watching people go there or watching it on TV or wherever and experiencing it for yourself, that is 2 completely different things. To experience it and to be in the places that my people were enslaved. And already Ghana is a hot country, very hot, and you're there. We had a feel for it. There was a time when the tour guide would just shut the door, switch off the light, just so that we'd have a sense of how, just a slight idea of how it would feel, and it felt awful. No ventilation, extremely hot. A lot of the, is it caves or dungeons or however you want to call it, didn't have windows, or if they did, it was very tiny. And imagine hundreds and hundreds of men and women being put into these places. Some sections they were placed because they were ill and they were just like put there just to die. It's just, for me, it's mind-boggling how, because of the color of someone's skin, you have so much hatred in your heart to put people through that. And I can't imagine how those people must have felt. And the women who are continuously being raped and then having their children taken away from them. Listen, like, yesterday was a very emotional experience, to the point where I had actually packed my drone with me yesterday, and I said, oh, before I had gone, I said, oh, I was gonna take some like drone shots of outside of the castle and the water area and the surrounding beach and blah blah blah. I got there, all of that went out the window. All of it went out of the window because it just felt so emotional. And I thought, yo, this is not the time for me to be trying to showcase how beautiful the surrounding areas are. This is a time to learn. This is a time to take on the message. And the tour guide, he was so fantastic. He shared so many stories. A lot of people have a lot of colonized mindset, because don't get it twisted, the impact of slavery is still impacting black people today. We're still, I could go as far as to say, we're still feeling the effects of slavery. We're just experiencing a different type of slavery, but a lot of us don't realize that. Honestly, it was such an experience. It's an experience that I think is gonna stay with me for the rest of my life, honestly. However, I definitely would say if you come to Ghana, and if you can, go and check them out. It will be emotional, especially if you're black. It will be an emotional experience. However, you will learn a lot, and I think that you learning a lot will also inspire you to be a better person, and it will also help to inspire you to inspire the world and to help to change the narrative, is what I will say. But yeah, honestly, I'm gonna leave the vlog here. Please do let me know in the comment section below, like, your thoughts, your feelings. What did you enjoy the most about this vlog? I really do appreciate y'all vibing with me, rocking with me, supporting me, watching this vlog, interacting with me. And yeah, until my next video, mwah, take care, be good.